Friends, in another tutorial video of Baijit's classes, and today I would talk about the probable MCQ questions from the poem Ulysses, which is composed by Lord Alfred Tennyson. Okay, so let's begin it. So obviously more questions are yet to come, but before that let's go to the first page. MCQ and descriptive questions from the poem Ulysses. Though today I would just talk about the MCQ questions because it has already been quite lengthy, so I just can't compile all the questions here, and obviously the other videos would come and you should keep on watching them. So today I would talk about few MCQ questions, and more questions are yet to come, and obviously the descriptive questions would come, and you should keep following me as I have already said. So as I have said in a previous video that your exam is going to be most probably in descriptive format, as far as I have understood from the gadget that has come out recently or of late. Yet you should keep on preparing yourself both for MCQ and descriptive, and I have also said that preparing yourself for the MCQ questions is much easier than preparing yourself for the descriptive one, because you can't prepare yourself for the descriptive strategy of exam overnight. That's why you should keep on preparing yourself for both for the descriptive and MCQ one. Once you prepare yourself for the descriptive questions, you can prepare yourself with the MCQ as well. And my request and humble advice to all of you that don't you just go for the MCQ questions by skipping the descriptive videos and lectures available to you, or the book, or various authentic sources that you have. First of all, you should go for the detailed analysis. Only after that you should go for the MCQ questions. Okay, so that is the right strategy of preparation. And as I always keep on saying that hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So let's begin. The first question is, the poem is entitled, you all know that the name of the poem is Ulysses, and the poem Ulysses is named after or entitled after whom? Yes, Ulysses is the name of a Greek hero who took part in the Trojan War. Okay, and cross reference of Ulysses follows. They are yet to come. So what you need to keep in your mind here is that Ulysses is the name of a hero, a mythical hero who took part in the Trojan War, and the name Ulysses or a similar or quite identical a name also occurred in another work of Dante's Inferno. Okay, in that work of Dante, that is in Dante's Inferno, Ulysses, there is a name Ulysses. So that is the thing. So Ulysses is the name of a Greek hero, and the name Ulysses also has its place in Dante's Inferno. Okay, moving on to the next slide. The poem was composed in the date of the year of the publication of the poem is very important. The year in which the poem was composed was, the year in which the poem was composed was 1833. The poem was composed in the year 1833 before he became the poet laureate. As we all know that Lord Alfred Tennyson was also given the post of poet laureate, and before he became the poet laureate in the year 1833 he composed the poem. So he composed the poem in the year 1833 before he became the poet laureate. Moving on to the next slide, and that is very important. The poem was written in which form? This question may come. The poem is written in which form? The poem is written in dramatic monologue form. The poem is written in the form of dramatic monologue. You should know what is dramatic monologue. The last to my last Duchess by Robert Browning is also written in dramatic monologue format. Okay, so the poem is written in which form? Dramatic monologue. And here I would advise you to go for the term dramatic monologue and other literary terms as well. What is a ballad? What is a sonnet? Okay, what is poetry? What is an epic? And you should also go for the rhetorical names. Okay, because if descriptive pattern of questions is said, then they would obviously ask you some questions from rhetorical devices as well. So the literary terms, you should know about the literary terms, and you should also know about the rhetorical terms, and obviously someday I would also make a video on this. My intention is to help you in a genuine and an authentic way. My intention is not to make video or by just increasing the number of my videos, by just collecting information from here and there. It's not my intention. My intention is to help you in a genuine way so that I can prepare you for the best. Anyways, moving on to the next part of the slide. Name of Ulysses' kingdom is Ithaca, or name of Ulysses' what would I say, residence or living place is Ithaca. So Ithaca is the name of his kingdom. It's important, question may come from here, what is the name of King Ulysses' kingdom? So that is Ithaca. Ithaca is an island and which is a mountainous one. It is surrounded with mountains. Okay. Ulysses is returning back to Ithaca after a long absence of 20 years. Question may also come from here that when was Ulysses coming back to Ithaca? It was a period after 20 years. So Ulysses is returning back to his home, Ithaca, to his island, to his kingdom, whatever you call it, after a long absence, and it was an absence of 20 years. You should remember it. That's also very important. This question is directly from Ulysses' own life, Ulysses' personal life. What is the name of Ulysses' wife? Ulysses' wife's name is Penelope. I think you can't see it, that's why I'm zooming out. Ulysses' wife's name is Penelope. Ulysses' wife's name is Penelope. And what is his son's name? What is the name of Ulysses' son? The name of Ulysses' son is Telemachus, about whom it has been said by Ulysses himself, most blameless is he. Questions may also come directly from the poem. Most blameless is he. Whom does this line refer to? In this line he refers to none other than Ulysses' son Telemachus. Okay, moving on to the next one. In the poem, this thing is very important, that what does Ulysses stand for? As Ulysses himself has said that I have become a name. So Ulysses stands for one who has endless appetite for knowledge. Ulysses is representing so many things here. So Ulysses stands for one who has endless appetite for knowledge, who is fond of traveling, who has unquenchable thirst for knowledge and adventure, and so on. As Ulysses himself has said that I move with an angry heart. Move with an hungry heart. I move with an hungry heart. I will drink life to the lees and all that. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Here I would advise you to memorize these important lines from the poem. Whenever you go through the text, whenever you go through the text, irrespective of poem or poetry or prose, whatever they are, you should obviously memorize the important lines from the text. That is going to help you in case of MCQ and descriptive questions as well. In the poem Ulysses, the king Ulysses is addressing to, তার মানে এই কবিতা Ulysses কাকে অ্যাড্রেস করছেন, ভীষণ ইম্পর্টেন্ট. ইন দ্য পোয়েম কিং Ulysses is addressing to, firstly, to himself. As it is written in the form of a dramatic monologue, he is addressing to himself. In the first part of the poem, we would find that Ulysses is addressing to himself. He is speaking to himself. In the first part, he is speaking to himself. In the second part of the poem, he is addressing to an audience of whom we know little. In the second part of the poem, we find Ulysses to addressing to someone, to talk to someone, to an audience. Who is the audience? It's ambiguous, we don't know. And thirdly or lastly, he is addressing to his co-sailors. You may call them co-mariners. You may also call them his comrades, because together they had adventurous journeys and all that. Moving on to the next slide. Which significant incident occurred in Tennyson's personal life soon before the composition of the poem Ulysses? Lord Alfred Tennyson composed the poem Ulysses after a very significant and disheartening incident that took place in the poet's life. Okay, the poem has connection with his personal life. Okay, so a very significant and disheartening incident occurred in the poet's own life before he composed the poem. What is that significant incident that occurred in his life? That is the death of Arthur Henry Hallam. We all know that Arthur Henry Hallam was a very close friend of Tennyson, and after the death of whom, remembering the death of whom, Lord Alfred Tennyson composed another poem, that is In Memoriam. In Memoriam is an elegy, and what is an elegy? I think you know. That's why I have just told you to memorize, to know, to explore the literary terms. What is an elegy? So what is important here for you is to know that which significant incident occurred in the poet's life before the composition of the poem. Yes, it was the death of Arthur Henry Hallam. The poet's dearest friend Arthur Henry Hallam had expired, and after that, soon after his death, he composed the poem Ulysses. Anyways, moving to the next segment. Achilles in the poem most probably or most possibly represents Arthur Hallam. Yes, in the poem Ulysses, the poet Lord Alfred Tennyson has made mention of, or has taken the name of Achilles, great hero Achilles, with whom he wants to meet in the Happy Isles. He has expressed a desire to meet with Achilles. Most possibly in the poem Achilles, in the poem Ulysses, the hero Achilles is representing Tennyson's dearest friend Arthur Henry Hallam. Okay, and so that you find the source, you find the information quite authentic. I have given the source also from where I have got it or I have consulted. So the source courtesy goes to Alfred Tennyson, an evaluation of his poetry. This book is written by Ramji Lal. ISBN number is also given. I would ask you to consult if you want. Anyways, moving to the next portion, that is more questions are yet to come. I have already mentioned few questions here, and some other questions I will also bring and compile here. Till then, you just keep on continuing, starting with all this, and please subscribe the channel, share with your friends, and keep on sharpening yourself, as I would advise you from a line from the same poem that is all written here, that to rust unburnished, not to shine in use. If you keep yourself in a stagnant condition, in a less active condition, then by doing so you will get rust. Okay, to rust unburnished and not to shine in use. So